Thank you for joining me for practice. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And in the description is a link to my Patreon account. If you'd like to offer a donation, it's greatly appreciated. Namaste. Beginning on our backs, if you need that support underneath your knees, make sure it's in place. And then legs just a little wider than hip distance apart, arms down by your side, palms face up, and tuck your shoulder blades underneath you. Feel the heart open. And then begin to really settle the body into the earth. So feeling the support of the earth underneath you. That steady constant that we can rely on. And as you feel the physical body begin to release tension as it surrenders into the support, take a moment just to notice how you're feeling today. You can start at a physical level, just observing the musculature, the skin, the bones, the joints. Even a little deeper through the cellular level, the tissues, the organs. And then begin to observe the mind, the quality of mind this morning. Notice, is the attention steady? Is it wavering? Oscillating between distraction, maybe dullness, or overactivity. And for a moment, just place your hands on your abdomen and begin to feel the breath. So connecting to the breath is a great way not only to take in information about the mind, but also about our energy level. And feel underneath your hands your abdomen rise and fall with the breath. And if the abdomen was not moving and it was a chest breath, then try to direct the breath down, feeling the expansion on inhalation and slight contraction of the abdomen on exhalation. Keep it effortless, though. As the breath moves into the abdomen and begins to slow down, we find that it has a great effect on the mind and the quality of our thoughts and our attention. So make the breath now very smooth. Inhale, flowing into exhale, flowing into inhale. And as you grow the breath, we'll move from the abdomen towards the rib cage, expanding the ribs out wide, exhaling abdomen, then rib cage. And if you don't feel like you have a good sense of breathing into your ribs, you're certainly welcome to move your hands up to the rib cage to feel that. And we'll feel that expansion of the rib cage in the front side of the body, but also send some of your breath and your attention to the back side of the body. And then breathing into the abdomen, the rib cage, and finally up into the chest, letting the breath reach all the way to the collarbones, but without any strain. And then exhale, abdomen, rib cage, and chest. And if you'd like, you can also shift your hands. And just notice how this longer, conscious breath really draws your attention into the present moment. And we often identify ourselves with our body and the sensations in our body. We often identify with the thoughts in our minds, the ideas of who we think we are. But yoga teaches us that there is a greater aspect to ourselves, something that is unchanging, unaffected by all the different variations of life, the stages, the different personalities we move through. There's something that endures beyond all of that. And in yoga, there's many names for this, but we often call it the witness or the seer. So as we study the rhythm of the breath, take a moment just to observe the aspect of you that has never wavered. The same you that was you when you were little, the same you that is you now. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart and just bow your head. You can tuck your chin in to feel like you're bowing your head. And just take a moment to honor that seer, that higher self, whatever you want to call it. And that when we tap into that greater awareness, we find a level of stability, that unchanging aspect that brings great peace to our bodies, minds, nervous systems. It can also offer great insight. So if there's any stability you've been seeking lately, maybe it's not so much just in the physical or the mental or in the nervous system or the breath or the energy. Maybe it's really having the desire to tap into this seer, this aspect of yourself. So you can state that as the intention for our practice today, to cultivate the witness, but also if there's anything in your own life that relates to this, you can bring that into your intention now. And then place it in your heart, surrounding it with unconditional love. And then release your hands down to your side. Bring your legs together, feet flexed. Palms can be facing down. On your inhale, reach your arms up and over your head. Belly, ribs, chest, full breath here. Almost like a good morning stretch. And then exhale, contract the abdomen, rib cage comes closer together, chest softens, and arms come down as you breathe out. Repeat that again. Inhale, full breath in. Extend, reach through the heels, open up, full expansion of the heart. And then exhale, contract the abdomen to anchor back into that center point in the body as the arms come down and the breath leaves. Good, now we're going to grow the breath. So inhale for a count of 5. And exhale for a count of 5. Then add 1 count, so inhale for 6. And exhale for 6. Keep going. 7. And exhale for 7. Now, you might be challenged as we start to move towards 8. So as you're breathing in, expanding the breath, if it feels like you've reached an end point to the quantity of air you can bring in, feel as if the energy is still expanding, even beyond the breath. And then exhale for 8. No strain. Let's see if we can reach 9. And maybe 10. If you've really gotten to a true end point, you can just stay with whatever count is comfortable. And as we lengthen the breath, notice we slow the movement down, slowing down the attention in the mind. Coming more and more into the present moment awareness. Let's try for 11. Last one, let's see if we can reach 12. And when you complete that last one, just relax. You can turn the palms up. You can release the feet. Everything gets soft. And just for a moment, feel the attention returning to the present moment, which is when we are in that seer, that witness. Good. Draw your knees into your chest. Take a moment here just to rock a little bit from side to side on the spine. And then right knee coming in, left leg extending long. Draw that knee as close to the armpit as possible, reaching the left extending leg away. One more here. And now grabbing the outside edge of your right foot, sole of the foot facing the ceiling, let the knee move down toward the armpit and open up the inner groin. You can place your left hand on your hip bone if you'd like, but keep your extending leg strong and straight. And then just the weight of the arm and the weight of gravity will help to open up the hip here. And then bend your left knee. Foot flat, knee bend. Take your right ankle on top of that knee. There's a triangle. Right hand goes through the triangle. Left hand comes around. Interlace behind the knee. And draw the left thigh closer towards your chest. Now you can flex your right foot to support the right knee. And if you've got a little more flexibility, press your elbow into the leg to help open up the hip just a little bit more. But be mindful. And then the last thing we're going to do here is straighten your left leg. So take your time there as well. Lift through the inner heel of the foot. Pull the toes back, especially the pinky toe side of your foot. Send your breath into any area of sensation. So sensation is a great way to capture the attention of the mind. Now deepen your breath into it and send some healing energy. All the while feeling the presence, the awareness behind it all. And last breath here. And we'll release by bending that knee, bring the foot back to the floor, and we're going to switch sides. So now left knee into your chest, extend your right leg long to the floor, flex through the heel of that foot. Pull the knee in as close as you can toward the armpit. Press the right heel away. Notice any areas of tension. Again, send the breath there. Continue to maintain the Samavriti, an even inhale, even exhale. It doesn't have to be long like we got to that 12 counts, but something that you think you can sustain throughout practice. So maybe a 5 or 6 count breath. Now reaching for the outside edge of your left foot, holding on to that half happy baby. You're going to let the knee move down toward the armpit. Right hand can just rest on the hip bone. And let gravity take over. As the sole of the foot faces the ceiling, and get that nice stretch for the inner groin. The more you press through the heel of your extended leg, the more stable that's going to feel. And in that stability, you might find a little more space in the hip. Two more breaths here, right into the sensation. Present moment awareness. Good, and then bend your right knee now and take the left ankle on top of that knee. Left arm through the triangle, right hand comes around, interlace the fingers, and pull the thigh closer to your chest. Flex your left foot. This helps to protect the knee joint. And if you've got the flexibility, the elbow can press into the knee, opening the hip up. Deep, full, complete breaths. And just notice the nervous system slowing down. Again, the attention of the mind is in the sensation. The slow breath encourages that stable nervous system. One more here. Now extend this right leg up in the air and lift the inner ankle. So really extend, like you could make an imprint in the ceiling. Pull the pinky toe side of your foot down. Just enjoy opening up the back of the leg, but mindfully. We're moving into sensation, but not beyond. Last breath here. Good, and then gently release. Bring both knees into your chest again. Give a little bit of a hug. And then hands underneath the knees. We'll roll up and down a few times. So rolling all the way up to a seated position. Keep your chin tucked in as you roll back. And then roll up, back, and just feel some sensation there moving along the spine. As you come up, contract your abdomen, so that helps to support the back. A couple more. And then find your way into a seated position. Sit with a tall spine and a relaxed body. Extend your arms long, and just for a moment, feel all that sensation in the spine. One more breath. We're going to move into tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips, tops of the feet pressed down. So for a few rounds, just some undulations of the spine. Inhale, lift the heart, lift the sit bones, open up the front body. Exhale, draw the abdomen and pelvic floor in and up as you slowly take the sit bones to the heels to child's pose. Repeat that again. Inhale, heart lift, sit bones lift, extending through the front body. And exhale, navel, pelvic floor drawing in and up. A little bend in your elbows here as you come down. Squeezing them towards the midline will help open up the upper back. Good. 3 more, please, with your breath. Inhaling for a count of 5. Exhaling for a count of 5. Inhaling for a count of 6. So slow it down a little bit. Growing that breath. Exhaling for 6. And inhale for 7. Exhale for 7. Now reach your arms as far forward as they'll go. Come up onto your fingertips. Let your heart dip through your shoulders. Draw the tips of your shoulder blades down your back. And then palms flat. Walk your hands to the right. Let your left sit bone and your rib cage bow out to the side. Breathe deeply into the left lung, right lung as well, but really feeling that sensation there. Take the mind there. And all the while being aware of the witness that observes each and every moment. Unchanging, stable. And then we'll move to the other side and do the same thing. So arms over to the left. Let the right sit bone soften. Let the right rib cage bow. Breathe deeply here. And then you'll come back to center and find tabletop position again. So one of the best ways to connect to stability in the yogic tradition is through bandha work and the navel center. So we're going to do a little bit of bandha work here. You can return back to inhaling, heart lifting, sit bones lifting. And then exhale, you can stay in tabletop and really contract the abdomen and pull the pelvic floor in and up, but not retain the breath. If that breath retention is too intense, then just stay with that. So we'll do it one more time. You'd inhale, expand, heart lift, sit bones lift, get that full complete inhale. And then exhale, you would just draw the navel towards the back body, lift the pelvic floor, and empty of breath without holding it out. Now, if you're comfortable with bandha work, you're going to inhale, fill the body with breath. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to exhale completely. So pelvic floor and navel, draw in and up, emptying out. And now with the breath held out, lift it, the pelvic floor and navel, a little bit deeper into the body as you move back into child's pose. Good. And then inhale, come back up into tabletop. So we'll repeat that again. Exhale, you're going to empty completely. And if you're doing the breath retention, you're going to engage Mula and Uddiyana Bandha, lifting the pelvic floor and navel deeply in and up, holding the breath out, and then slowly pull back towards child's pose, feeling a deepening of the suction and a lengthening of the waist. And then as soon as you need to breathe, come back to tabletop. So this is a very personal practice. Let's do 4 more on your own, please. Inhaling. Exhale completely. The more breath you get out, the easier the suction is. Hold the breath out. Don't breathe in. Lift pelvic floor and navel and slowly move back into child's pose, feeling a deepening of the suction. Last 3. And final one. Inhale back into tabletop position. And this time, just for a moment, sit on your heels. Just place your hands on your thighs, relax, take a moment, and just observe sensation, eyes open, aware of the witness. The mind becomes steady, and the presence, the unchanging presence behind our consciousness, our physical body, this comes to the forefront. Good. Inhale to tabletop position, heart lift, sit bones lift. This time exhale, tuck the toes, find downward facing dog. We'll stay in down dog for just a moment here to find alignment principles. So feet hip distance apart, toes turned in slightly, heels out. Roll the inner thighs in and back and allow the sit bones to spread. And really engage your quads. You want to use these big muscles of the legs to really hold the weight of the body. Even if the heels don't touch, you're pulling the weight back. So this is what causes the sit bones to lift and elongates the waist, really creating that space. And as the waist lengthens, make sure to roll the shoulder heads away from the ears. Hug the triceps in towards the midline. And then press firmly into the web of the index and thumb. And just breathe for a few more times here. You get the added benefit in this posture of a slight inversion. So lifting the pelvic floor and navel in and up on exhalation becomes just a little bit easier, and you can still feel the hollowing out of the belly even if we're not holding the breath out. So 3 more breaths here. On each exhalation, concentrate on hollowing out the belly. Breathing in, exhale, really drawing that in and up. Last one. Very nice. Come onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, and step forward to your fingertips. Open your feet hip distance apart. If you need a little micro bend in your knee, take it. Standing forward fold. And from here, we're going to either hook the index middle thumb around the big toe or keep your hands on your shin bones. We're going to move in and out of monkey pose. So inhale, pull the chest away. Extend the heart. Exhale, draw the navel in, fold over the legs. So if your hands are on your shins, you're just going to inhale, push into the shins, sending the heart forward, activate the back body as much as you can, and then exhale, navel in, slide the hands back down. So either one is fine with the bind on the hands, but we're moving in and out consciously, creating as much space in the spine and the front body as possible, and then melting into that space. So naturally, if we lift the pelvic floor and take the navel in and up under the rib cage, we're going to find more room in our fold. And take the belly out of the way and create just a little bit more space, a little more depth. 2 more like this, please. Now, on your next inhale, you're going to bring the heart forward, full breath in, and just pause for a moment. Gather the energy in the heart, and then really lift the pelvic floor and navel as you exhale and fold. Now, no strain during that pause. Do it again. Inhale, come forward. Extend, lift the sternum, pause, hold the energy in the heart. Exhale the navel in, fold. And just one more like that, please. Inhale. Pause. And exhale, forward fold. You can keep the bind on your hands with the feet, or if you want, you can wrap your arms around the back of the calves. Take a moment here just to bring the body weight forward a little bit in the balls of the feet so the sit bones lift, and feel equal pressure on inner foot and outer foot. Head and neck is heavy, providing some traction here for the spine. One more breath here. On the exhalation, bring that navel deeply in and up. And then hands to hips. You can bend your knees if you need to. We're going to slowly come back up. We've been down for a while. Take your time. And then come back into a standing position, samastiti, and just observe how you feel. Eyes open, connecting to present moment awareness, the witness, the seer. Very nice. All right, so back at the front of our mats. Big toes are touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. Just classic sun salutation A. Inhale the arms, reach up, extend through the side bodies. Exhale, forward fold, navel to spine. Inhale, halfway to monkey pose, flat back, and then exhale and lightly step or hop back to plank position. Now, for the first round, bring your knees to the floor. Squeeze the elbows tight into your side as your belly comes down, tops of the feet ground. Inhale, elbows and shoulders pull back for low cobra, low ribs are on the floor. And then exhale, navel up and back for downward facing dog. We'll take 5 full breaths here in down dog. And again, concentration on emptying out that belly, really feeling the pelvic floor and navel lift in and up. Steady your gaze. Very nice. Rise onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or lightly hop your feet forward. Inhale into monkey pose, hands on the shin or floor, flat back. Exhale, navel in, forward fold. Inhale, arms out wide, lift and rise all the way up, stretch along the side bodies. And then exhale, maintain the height in the spine as the arms come down. That's 1. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, monkey pose, flat back. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position. This time, if you'd like, leave your knees lifted for chaturanga. Inhale, then you roll over the toes and come into upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog, 5 breaths. hollowing out the belly on exhalation, maintaining your steady and even breath. So just Samavritti alone, just practicing even inhale, even exhale, this already begins to bring stability to the mind. Last full breath here. And rise onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or lightly hop your feet forward. Inhale to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach, extend the side bodies, and exhale, maintain height in the spine as the arms come down. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, step or lightly hop back to plank position, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog, your way. Exhale, down dog, 5 full breaths. Starting to feel some warmth coming into the body, particularly if we keep our attention in the abdomen. It's like a little furnace there, helping to build that heat, helps to cleanse and purify the internal organs. Last one here. Balls of the feet, bend the knees, look at the hands, step or lightly hop forward. Inhale to monkey pose, flat back. Exhale and forward fold. Inhale, lift and rise all the way up. Arms reach, stretch, and exhale, arms by your side. Take a moment here, samastiti. Just find your steady, even breath. Good. We're going to stoke that fire just a little bit more here in the abdomen, and we can do that, accomplish that just a little bit greater with chair pose than just with sun salutation. So take your block if you have it and place it in between your inner thighs. If you don't have a block, you don't need one. You can just bring the toes to touch and a space between the heels. Hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up, and then exhale, sink into chair. So we're just going to move in and out of chair pose here. So inhale, fill the chest, and now exhale, contract your abdomen and forward fold over your bent knees and really reach your arms forward. And then inhale, lean back, contracting the back body, lengthening the front body, knees stay bent, repeat it again. Exhale, contract your abdomen, pull it way into the body, fold, inhale, and lean back, staying in chair the whole time. Keep going. Exhale. Inhale. And notice the relationship between the musculature. So the back body contracting on inhale, front body lengthening. On exhalation, front body contracting, back body lengthening. Now, bringing in that breath count, we're going to challenge you just a little bit more here. So on your next inhale, count in for 5. And then exhale for 5. Now inhale for 6. Good. Exhale for 6. Inhale for 7. Exhale for 7. Let's see if we can get to 8. Inhale 8. And exhale 8. Inhale, reach forward and up, come all the way into standing. Squeeze your block as you rise. And exhale, arms by your side. Take a moment. You can remove the block and stand in samastiti. Again, eyes open, take in sensation. Just observe. Eyes are steady on one point. Slow the breath down. And concentrate that heat in the abdomen. Good. At the front of your mat, if you do have blocks and you need them, have them on either side of the front of the mat. Big toes are touching, space between the heels, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold navel to spine. So step your right leg back. Just a 2.5, 3 foot stance, not very long. You're going to have your back toes really angled in, heel to heel alignment. You can always widen that stance if you need to for more support and stability. But we're moving into pyramid pose here. So if you need to use your blocks to bring the floor up to you, you can do that. And we're going to move into what's called a sthiti. So we're going to extend, it's going to feel a lot like a monkey pose. Take your left hand for a moment and place it on your sacrum. Make sure your hips are level. You don't want to be sinking into one over the other. So lean in your front foot, lean in your back foot. Find that stability right between the two. Okay, so fingers in a finger stand. Inhale, pull your chest forward. Exhale, fold more deeply over your leg. You can do this with the blocks under your hands as well. So inhale, fingers in a finger stand. Lean forward, extend, just like monkey pose. Heart reaches through the shoulders, and then exhale, navel hugs in, pelvic floor is lifting, fold. Again, inhale. Each time, maybe finding incremental space. 2 more with your breath, please. Remember the contraction and the lifting of the pelvic floor at the abdomen here. It's really going to help with the depth of the posture. 1 more. Good. Now, you can stay here in the forward fold. We're going to keep the legs firm. So I want you to really sink into the stability of the legs, like they're tree trunks anchored into the earth. And then you can bring your hands onto your lower back if you're feeling comfortable and steady, and just let one hand grab the wrist of the opposite hand. So typically it's the left hand grabbing the right wrist. And now look forward and down, just past your toes. So this is going to reduce a little bit of that upper back curve, the thoracic curve. And let the heart remain open. Now, inhale that full breath as you were doing before, whatever your steady breath is. Exhale. And at the bottom of exhale, see if you can bring in a little pause. Anchored into stability. Inhale when you need to, no strain. Gaze is steady, eyes are open, tapping into that witness awareness. During the pause, notice the pure consciousness, present moment awareness. Very nice. Now release your hands down to the floor. If you need the blocks, you can use the block. You're going to lift your chest halfway up. So we're going to really feel that extension of the spine. We want complete and total extension before we move into rotation. Depending on your flexibility, you can have your right hand under your shoulder on the floor or block. That's going to be a little bit easier. If you have more flexibility, you can take that block to the outside of the foot. But left hand on the sacrum, again, we're feeling that the sacrum's flat. We're extending the spine as much as we can. Now we're going to rotate the navel deeply and open up through the chest as much as we can. You don't even have to lift the arm yet. Just really extend the crown of the head away from the sacrum. And if you feel comfortable, you're welcome to take the arm up in the air. Now really breathing here. Anchor into your back heel. Don't let it start sliding up off the earth. Couple more breaths. Eyes are open. Present moment awareness. And then lower that hand to the floor and release over the leg for just a moment, softening. And then if you have blocks with you and you're using them, just keep them in your hands. Bring your hands onto your lower back, flatten your spine, work against gravity as you come up to standing. And we're just going to pivot the feet. So now we're just facing the other direction. Just makes it a little easier, saves us a little bit of time. So you can place the blocks on either side of the foot if you'd like. And then inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, fold over the leg. So now your fingers are in a finger stand. You want to make sure you're still in the same alignment. So press the ball of the front foot away from the back heel. Those toes are deeply angled, and you can widen the stance if you need a little more support. Take your right hand on your sacrum. Now make sure you feel that it's flat and stable. Do you need to lean forward? Do you need to lean back? What do you need to do to keep that steady? Okay, we're going to bring back in those stitis. So with the fingers in a finger stand on the floor or block, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's nice to get the extra height. Inhale the chest away. Extend. It's going to feel like monkey pose. And then exhale and melt into that space you just created. Repeat it again. Inhale. Extend. Pull the sternum from the pubic bone. Exhale. Melt. 3 more, please, with your breath. Remember on exhalation, pelvic floor, navel drawing in and up. Last one here. Good. And once you're in that posture as deeply as you can be, you're going to reach the hands back, and now the right hand can grab the wrist of the left hand. And then you're going to take your gaze forward just beyond your toes. So we're going to flatten out that thoracic curve. Now deep Ujjayi breaths. You want to bring in that little bit of a pause at the bottom of exhalation, tapping into that true stability, the unchanging essence. No strain. Last 2. And then gently release your fingers. They can go in a finger stand on the floor, or you can have the block. We're going to prepare for the twist. So remember, you want to make sure the sacrum is stable first. We're going to lift the spine as tall as we can. We want to really create as much extension as possible. This time the left hand can go on the block, underneath the shoulder, or on the floor under the shoulder. But if you've got the flexibility, you're going to take it to the outside of the foot. Keep the spine long, right hand onto the sacrum. Extend. Keep that extension, turn the gaze, rotating the navel, and you could just keep the hand there. Watch how the body wants to shift into patterns of dropping maybe one hip or the other. Try to stay where you can be steady. If it's comfortable, the right arm can go up in the air. Breathe here. Traditionally, the gaze is up at the hand, but you can keep your neck neutral if that helps. Maybe stabilize the neck. Eyes are steady but open. Deep breaths. Heel grounds. 2 more. Very nice. And then gently just release. Fold over the leg for a moment. Soften everything down. Give in. And then again, we're just going to bring our hands to our hips, come up against gravity, strengthening the back body, slowly come all the way into standing. Your feet are a little wide, that's fine, helps with stability. And then we're just going to rest here with a wide-legged samastiti. You can bring your feet hip distance if you prefer. Now, return to your breath. Belly, ribs, chest on inhale, belly, ribs, chest on exhale. And if you can remember, I always forget, eyes open today. Feeling the presence, the witness, the seer, beyond the fluctuations and the changes in the body and the mind and the nervous system. There's also the phrase that is often related to the seer that It is beyond all sorrow, beyond all flux, beyond all suffering. Very nice. So we're already wide. Let's widen the stance just a little bit more here so that we're about 3.5 feet. Toes turned in slightly, heels out. Anchor firmly to the outside edges of your feet. So bring your hands onto your hips to start. Inhale, lift the heart, extend through that front body. And then exhale, just slide your hands down your legs as you forward fold, coming all the way to the ankles here. And then for a moment, inhale, pull your chest away. So feel again like that monkey pose. We're creating the length in the spine first, and then exhale, fold into that space, really taking pelvic floor and navel deeply in and up. Now your bind can be just holding on to the ankles if you'd like, or if you prefer to hook the index middle thumb around the big toe and bend the elbows out wide, that's fine too. So whatever you're comfortable with. But staying here in the forward bend, we're going to press firmly to the outside edge of the feet and then bring your body weight forward a little bit. It almost feels like you could fall over. You're not going to fall over. Your feet will hold you, but you're coming forward so much that the sit bones lift. And then a lot of times this helps to release the spine. We get even more traction and extension. Now, eyes open, but steady gaze. Steady gaze here. And then find your breath. Inhale, exhale, even length. One more. Good. Come up slightly, hands underneath the shoulders. Turn your left toes at a slight angle. And you're going to bend into that knee. We're going to sweep the hands behind us for Yoga Mudra. Interlacing your fingers, take your knuckles up and away from you. Stretch out your shoulders. At the same time here, you're getting this nice groin stretch. So as deep as you're comfortable going here, really allow that front knee to bend. And stretch and lengthen the inner thigh of the right leg. Good. Just a beautiful release here. Areas where we tend to hold tension. And a lot of times we can say the tension in the body that we have cultivated has often come from a forgetfulness of who we really are, a forgetfulness of the witness, of the seer, of the true stability that is our birthright. And then we'll release the hands, bring them back under the shoulders, and turn the left toes in. Now you're going to turn the right toes out. Just a slight angle. You want it to bend in the same direction as the knee. Now we're leaning the chest on the inside of the right leg. Interlace your fingers again. Take knuckles up and away from you. And now stretch the inner groin of the left leg. And don't be afraid to bend into that front knee. You've got nice length here, nice stability. As long as the knee doesn't go far over the toes, you've got support there for the knee as well. You're slightly inverted here too, so you can really utilize that to pull pelvic floor and navel deeply in and up. One more breath here. And then slowly come back and bring the fingers underneath the shoulders, turn the toes in. Now we're going to just walk our hands over to our left foot, pivot on the ball of the back foot, and come into high lunge position. So fingers in a finger stand, front shin bone pressing away from the back knee. And really feel some space there in the groin. Now, if you would like some padding underneath your knee, you can flip your mat over and lower that to the floor. And then inhale, rise up, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the thigh, but keep the right arm extended. So inhale, really lengthen this right side. And then exhale and sink into the lunge, but the fingertips can reach towards the floor. They don't have to touch. Inhale, bring the arm back up. Feel the length along the right side body. Tailbone absorbs in, lower belly lifts. And then exhale and bring it down. So let's do that with our breath count. So inhale for a count of 5. And then exhale for a count of 5. And now inhale for 6. And exhale for 6. Keep the heart lifted, collarbone spread. How about 7? Eyes are steady. Exhale 7. As we slow down, building the awareness, how about 8? 9, 8, and see if maybe you can reach 10. Now stay deep into the lunge. Inhale, both arms reach up. Widen them a little bit so they're a little bit more in a V shape. Tips of the shoulder blades move down the back and deeper into the chest. And now let the heart really flourish open. Take the gaze up. Breathe deeply here. Feel that gratitude for this stable presence in your life. One more breath. And now fingertips come down. We're going to tuck the back toes under, sit back on your heel, and flex your left foot. And you can keep the hips a little bit extended up in the air, and that will help to deepen the stretch with a nice hamstring stretch here, or half splits. Now you can just stay in this position if you'd like, or if you want to go a little deeper, we're actually going to move into full splits. So having that block underneath your thigh is very helpful. You can bring the leg forward, extending the back leg back, and then whatever position you need the block in, 1 or 2 blocks, you'll have it there supporting the front leg. Good. So once again, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, and come back into that V shape, and feel that expansion, all that breath. Notice that you can reach a little higher up out of the waist. At the same time, getting space in the legs. If this is too uncomfortable, you're certainly welcome to keep your fingers down or even come forward slightly without collapsing the chest, but keeping the fingers in like a finger stand. So it's based on your comfort level. And now breathe here. Keep expanding. No matter what position you're in, breath deepens. Gaze is steady. Last one. And then for the last few breaths, you're welcome to come into a forward fold. It's not the traditional pose, but we're going to fold over that front leg and just let everything soften. And here, if that pause returns at the bottom of exhale, just relax into it. One more. And then slowly come up. Now to come out of splits, it's very helpful to place both hands on the inside of the leg, push down into the hands and relieve the pressure off the leg and then slide it back. And for a moment, we're just going to sit tall on the heels, hands on the lap, and just observe, eyes open, witness consciousness. Very nice. So come into tabletop position, lunge your right foot forward to your fingertips, tuck your back toes under, and come into high lunge for a moment. So fingers in a finger stand, shin bone pressing away from the back heel. Really get strong and stable through that leg. Might notice some of the residual length in the left leg from Hanumanasana, the splits we just did. Now, if you want padding under your knee, you're going to flip your mat over and lower that left knee down to the floor. And then inhale, anchor down. Bring both arms up and over the head. Exhale, bring your right hand down to your thigh. Inhale, lengthen your left side a little bit more, full breath in. And then exhale, sink into the lunge. Let the fingers reach towards the floor, but they don't have to touch. You don't have to lean forward or anything. Inhale, now tailbone absorbs and lower belly lifts as you come back up. And exhale and soften. Good, let's do that with our breath. So inhale, count of 5. And exhale, 5. Inhale, 6. Exhale, 6. Inhale, 7. Exhale, 7. 8. Exhale, 8. Eyes are steady. Let's try for 9. And 10. Now stay low in the lunge and inhale, bring the arms up. Again, a little bit of a V shape here. Pull those shoulder blades in towards the body. Heart is lifted, collarbones are lifted, gaze is up. Feel all that gratitude for this witness presence in our lives, this consciousness that animates us truly. Keep lifting and spreading the collarbones. Nice. And now bring your fingertips to the floor. You're going to tuck your back toes under if they're not already tucked. And now flex your right foot. So you don't have to bring the sit bones all the way to the heel. You can keep them a little bit up in the air there. In fact, often that'll give you a deeper stretch. And now pull the pinky toe side of your right foot back. Send the heart forward. So even though you're forward bending here, you're keeping that nice extension through the spine. Now you're welcome to just stay in this half splits if this is comfortable for you. Otherwise, you can place the block somewhere underneath the thigh, scoot the front leg forward. Sometimes it's helpful to also move the back leg back until you can get into position where you have that block supporting the thigh, and then it feels a little bit more comfortable. So once you're comfortable there, inhale, you can take the arms up in the air and feel that gratitude return. So Hanuman, is this representation of the ultimate devotee, the ultimate devoted student. And the faith of Hanuman sent him flying across the ocean in his faith in God and his desire to serve. So you could feel that here in the body as you're in this posture, particularly with these arms spread wide. Just that sweet, sweet release. And now fingertips can come to the floor. You're welcome to fold over the leg and just move into a little bit more of a surrender. Head and neck is soft. Keep the heart open. Give in to the sensation, give in to the stretch. One more. Now hands on the inside of the leg. Remember, that's going to give you some support to relieve the pressure off the leg, and then you slide it back. And release your mat if it was flipped over. And once again, we're just going to sit tall on the heels. Hands rest just comfortably on the lap, eyes open, and observe sensation. Observe the witness, observing sensation in the body. So when the mind is calm and steady, one-pointed, it becomes much easier to feel this presence. Very nice. We're going to move into Ardha Matsyendrasana, so sitting on your sit bones. Come into a cross-legged position to start, Sukhasana. And now the right leg is going to come over the knee. You're going to slide the foot back just a little bit here and make sure that both sit bones feel anchored into the floor. Right heel lines with the top of the knee. Hold the shin bone and sit as tall as you can. So again, we find time and time again, we return to extension in the spine as the starting point. Now you're welcome to either wrap the left arm around the leg and bring the right hand back behind you and rotate from there. If you have a deeper bind, you can do that as well. But the point isn't so much to be able to use the arm to twist, whereas to use the physical body, the abdomen, and also a sense of surrender to twist. So inhale, grow as tall as you can. And now exhale and rotate the navel deeply to the right. So we're utilizing breath and the movement of the body. Again, inhale, grow taller. You can neutralize your spine there as you take that full breath in. And then exhale and squeeze and maybe rotate a little deeper. One more like this, please. Good. Now, as you stay in the posture, find Samavriti to start. So even inhale, even exhale. Whatever count is comfortable for you and not causing any strain. And then I'm going to keep your eyes open and challenge you here that at the bottom of the exhale, bring in a soft pause. And then no strain during the pause, so inhale as soon as you need to. Exhale, let go. Twist maybe a little deeper. Pause. Keep going. And then those of you that are very comfortable with the pause, having no strain at all, on the exhalation, as you pause, see if you can lift Mula and Uddiyana Bandha a little deeper and actually find the twist unwind for you. And then you'll inhale and exhale. And during the pause, maybe find a deeper lift of Mula and Uddiyana Bandha. 3 more like this. No strain, last one. And then just turn your chin over your front shoulder, just to stretch the neck out the other way. And then slowly unwind. You can hold your shin bone, grow as tall as you can through your spine. Eyes open, steady gaze. And we'll switch. So you just bringing the right leg underneath you, left foot just in front of the knee, heels down if you can, and both sit bones anchored equally if possible. Hold the shin bone, sit as tall as you can, starting with that extension we've been working with through the practice. Inhale the right arm up, and you can either wrap that arm around the leg, or if you have a deeper bind, take your deeper bind and rotate the navel to the left. So again here, inhaling, we'll just work it physically. Inhale tall, full breath in. Exhale, squeeze and rotate a little deeper. Inhale, grow even taller. Exhale, squeeze and rotate. Inhale. Exhale. Now, if you're comfortable, inhale. And then at the bottom of the exhale, bring in just a soft pause. No strain, just 1 or 2 count pause. Notice during the pause that peaceful presence, witness consciousness, the stability. And only if you're really comfortable there, then add in that third component, which is that during the pause, you'll actually lift and engage the pelvic floor and navel in and up from Mula and Uddiyana Bandha, just to see what happens in the twist as it go a little deeper. But absolutely no strain. Last one. Now just turn your chin over your shoulder, stretching the neck in the other direction. And then slowly unwind and hold the shin bone and sit tall. Eyes open, spinal awareness, witness consciousness. Good. Soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Wrap your hands around your feet. Let the inner foot open up like the pages of a book. And make sure you have an anterior tilt of your pelvis, so you can scoot your pelvis forward a little bit. You want that forward rotation. So inhale, bring the heart forward through the shoulders, spine tall. And now exhalation, we're going to lean forward. And don't collapse the upper back, don't round the upper back, keep it nice and straight, and just come to wherever that place is for you. If the elbows happen to touch the thighs, you can gently press the thighs down, but you don't have to reach for that in any way. Just be where you are. Now, just some spinal breathing here. So on the inhale, we're actually going to switch and reverse the breath we've been doing throughout the practice, which is to breathe in through the nostrils and down to the base of the spine. So we'll feel chest, ribs, belly, pelvic floor. And now exhale, really feel pelvic floor, navel draw in and up, rib cage come closer together, chest softens, and out the nostrils. So inhale, it's a descending breath all the way to the pelvic floor. And exhale, it's an ascending breath from pelvic floor back up and out. And you might find that during the descending breath, as the breath goes towards the pelvic floor, you can actually send the heart forward a little more. And on the ascending breath, as you feel it move up, it's going to just encourage a little bit more of that lift. So either way, we keep extending. Last one. Very nice. Now lean back, maintain that tall spine, chin in though. So we're actually adding that third bandha, Jalandhara bandha here. Back of the neck long, crown is lifted. And if you'd like, you can take a traditional gaze, which is at the tip of the nose. Eyes are open. In an eye open meditation, you can gaze at the tip of the nose or at the third eye center. So if you would prefer to look up, you're welcome to switch here. And either way, we're in the world, but not of it. We're practicing that steady gaze, and yet the mind that's completely turned inward. And now close your eyes for just a moment and let them rest. Feel tranquility. And then we'll come onto our backs. Have a block candy nearby if you have one. If not, that's okay, we can modify. So bring your knees into your chest. And holding your shin bones just slightly below the knee, you're going to inhale, push the right knee away, turn your left cheek down into the mat, and pull your left knee into your chest. So you're just separating the legs. And then do that on the other side. So pull your left knee away, pull your right knee in, and turn your right cheek to the floor. Good. And just go back and forth a few times. I really like this variation of Apanasana. It's nice that bind of the hand on the shin helps to really stretch the neck and release any tension that might be there. And at the same time, we're relieving some pressure off the lower back. And just all around a good posture. Good. One more right, one more left. So making sure that you end equal. So whatever side you started on, that's the side you'll end on. And then you can come back to center when you finish. There's no rush. Take your time. And ending with Viparita Karani Mudra. So if you don't have a block and you're not comfortable inverting, you're welcome to just have the legs straight in the air for a Supta Dandasana. And this is really great to still bring some of that blood flow back down into the body. If you have a block or even a bolster you could put underneath, you can rise up into bridge pose and slide that prop underneath your sacrum. If you're using the block, it's ideally on the tallest edge, but if that's not possible, that's okay. Middle or flat edge is fine too, and then you'll extend the legs up. In Viparita Karani Mudra, we actually have our hands holding up our hips, so even if you have the block for support, you can place your hands onto your hips and still be in the seal, the mudra of the posture. And then reach up through your toes, so activate the feet slightly, spreading the toes wide. And it's tempting to want to close the eyes, but keep a steady gaze either at the toes or between the ankles. And now here, again, just steeped in that witness consciousness. So the mind is so calm, the body is nice and open, that there's very little distraction here from our ability to stay present. And we can really rest in that anchoring, rest in that stability, steadiness. This is really the intention we have for asana, is to get the mind to this place so that we can be prepared for meditation. Even Hatha Yoga, the physical practice of yoga, its goal is to get the Raja Yoga, is to get to the kingly path, that of working with the mind and ultimately transcending the mind. Just a few more breaths, nice and steady, nice and even. You don't even have to count it, you're just established in it. Very nice. And then we'll just take one leg down and then the other. And if you were in a bridge or supported bridge, you can stay there for a moment. Just open the arms. Feel that expansion, all that space in the front body. And then rise onto the balls of the feet. Slide the block out from underneath. And one vertebra at a time, just melt the spine back into the earth. Lengthening the tailbone towards the heels. And typically that posture does not cause any uncomfortableness in the lower back, but if it does, you're welcome to take a few more Apanasanas, knees to chest, or you can just prepare for Shavasana. So if you're in a cooler room, make sure you place socks and sweaters on. We want the body temperature to come down slowly. If you feel any kind of sensitivity in your spine or your lower back, you're certainly welcome to utilize your bolster or a rolled up mat under your knees again, just like when we started. And if you're in a lighted room, it's very helpful to place a piece of material over the eyes. That light is a stimulant for the mind. And now we're really going inward. We've done the work, come to rest, and return how we started. Just feeling the earth underneath us, the support there. And really letting the body just relax into that support. Just like what we've cultivated for the mind in the practice today, the same steadiness here, and the trust we have in the earth. So you can let go of any breathing, any shaping of the breath, and just let it come in and go out at its own pace, in its own wisdom. And we feel that taking the attention to particular areas of the body brings energy there. And just for a moment, bring your attention into your toes and feet. And just feel them grow heavy and relaxed. Attention into the calves, growing heavy and relaxed. Attention into the big muscles of the legs, the thighs, hamstrings, just feeling them heavy, melting into the earth. And the big muscles of the glutes and the pelvic floor, heavy and relaxed. The spine and the abdomen and chest completely relaxed. Heaviness, relaxation through the shoulders, the upper arms and lower arms, and the hands and fingers completely relaxed. And relaxation through the upper back, the neck, the throat, completely relaxed. And relaxation through the jaw, the organs of sensation, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth. And relaxing the skin on the forehead and the whole head and face, completely relaxed. The whole body completely relaxed and the mind at ease. Rest in present moment awareness. So as you begin to come back, first allow your attention to be drawn into sensation. The sensation of the energy of the body, sensation of the breath. The sensation of the musculature. And very gently start to move fingers and toes, but don't lose your connection to the awareness. Go slow. And then gently drawing knees to chest. Take your time. Feel the spine long against the earth. Again, completely supported. Profound stability in nature. And then roll over into your right side and just rest for a moment in fetal position. Arm under the head as a pillow. And then slowly placing the hand into the earth, head and neck heavy, eyes closed as you come up. You're welcome to come into any comfortable seated position. If you like to sit on the heels, that's fine. If you want to prop your sit bones up for a few moments of meditation, just coming into Sukhasana, easy cross-legged pose. So eyes closed, tall spine, relaxed body. And just for a moment, recall the awareness you experienced during Shavasana, the state of peace and tranquility. So we're going to work with Ujjayi breathing, something we work with all the time, but doing it just a little bit more consciously. And with Ujjayi, we'll begin with a stronger Ujjayi breath, a stronger sound, and then eventually make it more and more subtle so that the application of the technique is there, but the sound is no longer able to be heard. So if you're unfamiliar with Ujjayi, it's an ocean wave or whisper type sound to the breath that's done by slight constriction of the epiglottis in the back of the throat. It's the same kind of action we take when we want to fog up a mirror. It's the ha sound. We would use that same action, but with the mouth closed. And on the inhalation, it has a little bit more of a suction to it. So for a moment, we will return to whatever your steady breath was, whether that was a 5-5 count or a 6-6. Just return to a steady breath and apply Ujjayi. And we will breathe the way that we ended the practice. So as the breath comes in and goes down, it's descending. So we're filling chest, then ribs, then belly, then pelvic floor. And on exhalation, it's ascending. So we'll lift the pelvic floor, draw the navel in and up, release from the rib cage, chest, and then out through the nostrils. Continue to breathe in this way, really committing to your length of breath and just sticking with that. Again, Ujjayi is a little stronger here in this beginning portion. Now, if you're starting to get comfortable on the inhalation as the breath descends, top of the breath, we're going to hold and lift the pelvic floor, bring the sternal notch and the chin toward one another, and contain the breath for just a moment. Then you'll keep the pelvic floor lifted, release the chin, and let the breath leave, exhalation. So again, it'll be retention on inhalation to start. Inhale, breath comes in and down with the Ujjayi sound. As the body's filled with that prana, you're going to pause, lift the pelvic floor, draw the sternal notch towards the chin, and chin towards the sternal notch, holding the breath, containing it in the torso. And when you need to breathe out, you'll just release the head, and then the pelvic floor can release as the breath leaves. So we're going to continue with that, but no strain, and also no particular length to the pause. It can be whatever your count is without any strain. The minute the body wants to breathe, you're going to honor that. Please continue. During that retention, of course, the chest is lifting, the collarbones are spread wide, and we're holding the prana in the torso. Now, if you're really honoring your capacity, you can begin to create a quieter Ujjayi. You may notice with the quieter Ujjayi, a little bit more of an internalized experience. Now, if you'd like, you can also add the pause at the bottom of exhalation, where you will apply the bandhas as well, lifting pelvic floor and sternal notch to chin. Of course, the chest is not as lifted. There's not as much breath in the body. It would just be a soft pause, the bowing of the head. And when you need to breathe in, you'll release the head and take your full breath in. As the Ujjayi grows quieter and quieter, and the practice more internalized, you can maintain the chin lock the entire time. finally, as you feel very internalized, you can maintain the chin lock and the pelvic floor lift. So that really the breath is just flowing right in the center of the torso. Almost entirely silent Ujjayi now. And finish your last breath, and when you do, you can release the pelvic floor lift and the chin lock and just rest for a moment. No need to control the breath in any way, just be steady. The hub of the wheel, the eye of the storm. Namaste.